Thank you for watching Scary Bear Attacks. If you like this episode, please remember to hit the like button and leave a comment or two, then subscribe and click on the bell to receive notifications of whenever we release new videos. Also, please remember to share them to your social media. The dog bounced back and forth along the banks of the creek as the man waded through the cold, clear water, clicking away as he spotted salmon. This was his 14th year counting salmon while marching upstream in his hip waders. Each silverback he saw, he counted and relayed his numbers to the state for annual statistics. He knew the risks of wading upstream while the salmon run was ramping up. Huge brown bears would often lie up along the banks, alternating their time between filling up on salmon and sleeping off the abundance they consumed. When there was an abundant run, the bears were not as aggressive as when there wasn't, but under no circumstances did they like to run into dogs. As the man kept his eyes on the water and the salmon it held, the dog disappeared upstream around a bend. It wasn't long before the man heard an urgent bark from that direction. He glanced up just in time to see a massive bear head poke out above the brush and stare him down briefly before disappearing. The brief exchange ended, and the man went back to counting salmon. The sound of snapping brush jerked his eyes back toward the bank, but this time what he saw was terrifying. A huge sow brown bear, with 2 cubs in tow, was steaming toward him, eyes locked in and ears pinned back. She was enraged and was closing in on him with alarming speed. Welcome back to Scary Bear Attacks. The Yucatan district of Alaska lies between mountains and the sea, a land carved by glaciers and drenched by endless rain. Spruce and hemlock forests stretch from the surf to the mountainsides, and the streams that lace the land each become battlefields when the salmon return to spawn. In those same channels come the great coastal brown bears, drawn by the instinctual urge to feast on salmon to fatten up for hibernation. Here the climate is harsh and wet, the air thick with the smell of rotting fish. Moose roam the willow flats, wolves howl from the foothills, and eagles gather by the hundreds along the gravel bars. It was late August of 1975 when the pink salmon, with their hooked jaws and humped backs, swirled in their spawning run, filling the riffles and gravel bars of Yucatan's wild creeks. To the fisheries technician, Alex Brogel, this was the time of year he enjoyed most, the annual fish count, which preceded the net fishing season in the Gulf. He enjoyed his job of counting these fish, tallying their silverbacks in streams that spilled down from the snow-peaked St. Elias Mountains into the tempestuous Gulf of Alaska. On this particular day, Alex waded through the clear water of Humpback Creek, hip boots protecting him against the frigid current. Ahead of him ran his black dog Rex, a wolf-like mix of Labrador and Siberian Husky, moving with the alertness of a protector and the companionship of a friend. The pair had become inseparable, as 2 creatures of the wild bound by trust and years of shared solitude. Rex vanished around a bend, his dark coat blending into the alders. A moment later came the sharp bark Alex knew too well, an alarm that meant a bear was nearby. Running into a bear while performing his duties wasn't unheard of, and usually led to a few tense moments before the bear lost fear or interest and departed. The coastal region around Yucatan has long been one of the richest salmon fisheries in the world, and one of the most densely inhabited by brown bears. The bear's population is sustained by a nearly limitless food supply and the dense cover of rainforest. Yet those same riches make it one of the most dangerous places for field biologists. Over the decades, many state employees have suffered close calls with the bears that fish beside them. The department's policy eventually required that every biologist or technician conducting a stream survey be accompanied by an armed guard, but in Alex's days, no such protection existed. Brown bears in the Gulf of Alaska rely upon an abundance of salmon. During salmon runs, dozens of bears may fish the same creek, indifferent to one another, unless cubs are nearby. In years of high salmon return, conflicts are rare, but when fish numbers fall, tempers shorten. Bears can turn territorial, defending a fishing spot as fiercely as any human would defend family or friends. Humpback Creek was one such battleground, a mile-long ribbon of water, alive with salmon, gulls, and bears. It was here, under the gray skies of late summer, that a protective sow would reach her limit with the encroachment of mankind and his canine cohort. Alex Brogel was a slender, quiet man, more at ease in hip boots than in tennis shoes. His calm precision made him a master woodsman and a trusted biologist, but it was his heart for animals that guided him. In July of 1967, while patrolling Yakutat Bay in his Boston whaler, Alex had discovered 2 abandoned dogs stranded on Kantak Island, a starving black lab and a wary Siberian husky. The Labrador, weak and heavy with pups, had given birth under an old cabin's porch. By the time Alex found her, all but one of her pups were dead. He pulled the last one, a black scrap of fur barely alive, from beneath the porch and carried it inside his coat for warmth. He immediately settled on the name Rex for his new friend. From that moment, Alex became everything the dog knew. The bond was absolute and unbreakable. Rex followed him on patrol boats, on aerial fishing surveys, and through endless miles of forest trails. The dog's instincts sharpened in the wild, and his fear of bears became Alex's early warning system. Over the years, Rex developed an uncanny sense for the scent of a bear. When the wind shifted, his hackles rose, in a silent warning that kept his master alive more times than Alex could count. He learned to smell danger long before I did, Alex once said. For 8 summers from 1968 to 1975, Rex was Alex's guardian, his eyes, his ears, and sometimes his courage. The day of August 30th, 1975 began like countless others. The stream teemed with 15,000 spawning pink salmon. Dead fish lay in heaps along the banks, their bones gleaming white against the sand. The smell of decaying fish carcasses hung over the valley, and every bear in the area seemed to have left its track in the mud. Alex carried his hand counter in one hand, and for safety, a .44 Magnum revolver on his hip. No human guard was available that day, so he had taken Rex along to keep watch for bears. Halfway through the survey, Rex's growl stiffened the air. His hackles rose. His nose pointed across the creek. Alex looked up in time to see a massive male brown bear rise on its hind legs. It studied them briefly before dropping to all fours and melting into the brush. Alex turned back to his work. Then came the sound of breaking branches from behind him. When he spun around, he faced a sight that sears itself into a person's memory. A massive sow brown bear, charging full tilt, her face low, her eyes locked, cubs somewhere behind. She was less than 15 yards away. Alex dropped his fish counter and reached for his gun. The bear came on, rearing to its full height only 7 yards away. Before the revolver cleared its holster, Rex leaped. The dog hurled himself at the bear's throat with a ferocity Alex had never seen. In that instant, both man and dog moved on instinct, Rex forward, Alex sideways, springing onto a 3-foot bank. He fired a warning shot over the bear's head, hoping the noise might break the charge, but the bear, in full rage, wrapped her forelegs around the dog and bit down. Rex went limp. The bear dropped him and turned away, likely frightened by the shot, and satisfied the dog was no longer a threat. She retreated through the brush. Only then did Alex see 2 cubs following her up the hill. It was over in seconds. Rex lay motionless in the shallows. The water around him swirled with the reflection of clouds. Seeing his protector and friend limp and lifeless, he carried Rex's body into the forest and placed it beneath the roots of a tall spruce, where sunlight dappled through the needles. Later he nailed a small wooden sign to a nearby tree, in memory of Rex, who here sacrificed his life to save his master, August 30th, 1975. In his official report to his superior, Dave Cantillon in Juneau, Alex wrote simply, "Rex stopped the bear 6 yards from me and lunged into certain death in order to save my life." There was no animal carcass cached nearby, and only the salmon as a resource worthy of defense. She was doing what she needed to do to protect her cubs. Speaking of Cubs, our Cub Tier membership on Patreon, linked below, will give you ad-free early access to episodes, photos, and notes. And the $3 per month goes a long way in helping me continue to produce educational and entertaining content like this. Brown bears along Alaska's Gulf Coast are among the largest in the world, sustained by salmon runs that can exceed 50 million fish annually. Estimates place more than 30,000 brown bears statewide, with densities near Yucatan rivaling any on Earth, often one bear per square mile along key salmon streams. Despite the abundance, fatal encounters between humans and brown bears remain rare, though bear attacks on salmon counters, field biologists, and hunters are among Alaska's most frequent occupational hazards. Every year, Fish and Game issues new warnings, urging surveyors never to work alone and always carry bear spray or a firearm. The agency's safety records are full of near misses, close calls where a shouted command or a barking dog turned to charge. Rex's sacrifice remains part of that legacy, a story that still circulates among fisheries staff who wade the same streams he once patrolled. After reviewing the facts surrounding this episode, I'm left with a few questions for you. Do you think Rex saved Alex from certain death, or would the sow have backed off prior to wounding or killing the man? Was Rex too brave for his own good, or did he save Alex's life? If Alex shot and killed the sow to save Rex's life, would that have been a better outcome? I will gladly read and reply to your thoughts, so post them in the comments section below, and let's talk about it. Thank you for watching Scary Bear Attacks. If you've enjoyed this episode, please consider clicking on the like button and clicking on the bell icon. We'll help you know when we post our new episodes. Posting our video links to your social media profiles furthers awareness, and it's fun. We slashed our prices in our merch store, linked below, so check out the bargains there while you shop. As a member of our human community, remember to adventure bravely and be careful out there, especially in bear country.